Hello guys, welcome to another pick a card video. This one is going to be very special. It's all about past lives and past life regression. If you don't know what a past life regression is, it's pretty much trying to reach back into different lifetimes and subconscious realms to figure out who you were in the past. I read a great book. I can't think of the name of the book or the author some years ago who showed me how to do a past life regression. And I did one on myself. And let me tell you, I got so much information about who I was and who I was in several past lives, okay? So this is why I wanted to do this for you guys. So you guys can just kind of figure out who you were in your past life and kind of like where you should be in your life right now at this moment, okay? So when you're focusing on the cards, and I already put them up in the beginning, when you're focusing on the cards, right? If you are drawn to more than one deck, that means you are drawn to more than one past life, okay? And there's 8 decks here because I really wanted to get as many past lives as I possibly can that you would resonate with, something that's going to trigger you to pull out thoughts and feelings to let you know, maybe even some of the pictures, the colors, to figure out who you were in your past life. It's very important because when you figure out who you were in your past lives, you may have had many lives, past lives, it can kind of lead you to what you should be doing in your life right now. Because I feel like a lot of us are lost. A lot of us are just existing. We're not really living. We're just existing, you know, which really sucks, okay? So when you focus on the cards, just take it like this. These 8 decks are 8 different past lives. So say you are connected to 3, okay? Each one is a different past life. Does that make any sense? One deck represents one past life, okay? So if you pick 2 or 3 decks, they don't intertwine together on the same timeline. They are 2 or 3 different past lives. Each deck represents a past life. Okay, so if you are very drawn to 2, one is a past life during one time frame, and the other is a past life during another. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. They don't intertwine. So if you are connected to more than one deck, then you're going to figure out who you were in a few of your past lives, okay? So just wanted to get that out the way before you guys started picking. Well, you've already picked if you got to this part of the video. So I'm gonna get right down to the reading. Let's see who you were in your past life, okay? So deck number 1. And remember, there are 8 decks, so we're going to be here for a while. I have provided timestamps down below if you need them. Deck number 1. Deck number 1. Whoa. There are a lot of cards here, but don't worry. Okay, deck number 1. If you pick deck number 1, the first card that I got for you is Earth Guardian. Earth Guardian, okay? This card is basically meaning you're a hybrid. You are an angel and you are a human. You are an earthbound angel, meaning you have DNA of an angel and you have DNA of a human. You're a hybrid, okay? You have both. You are an earth angel, an earth guardian. This is what you were in your past life, okay? You used to come down to earth just to connect to your human side, you know, because you have the ability to travel between earth and the heavens, okay, the ethers. And a lot of times you would come down to earth, you know, just to walk amongst humans and be amongst humans and enlighten them. This was your thing, and you felt very much so drawn to humans and helping them, okay? That's why it says Earth Guardian. You were a guardian. When you were sent here, I felt like you came down to be a guardian to your relatives, your loved ones, the humans you were bloodline to, okay? And once again, we got that guardian angel. We already established that you were a guardian angel when you came down to earth for your bloodline, for your loved ones. And also this card means you were also guiding them up above as well. So when you went back up into the ethers, you were watching over them as well, okay? And we got the Father Sky card because you are an angel, an earth angel. You are very connected to God. You come from his realm, okay? So that's why we have the Father Sky. You are very connected to God. And we got the Hello from Heaven card. Once again, like I said, you are a earthbound angel. Well, you travel between both, and you would bring messages back from the loved ones that aren't earthbound. They're just spirits in the ethers. And you would send those messages to your loved ones to let them know that, give them messages from their loved ones up above that cannot come down into the earth plane. A lot of entities cannot come down into the earth plane. Some of them can, some of them can't. A lot of them are vibrating so high they can't deal with the lower vibrations here on earth, if that makes any sense. You were a stargazer. You're always looking up at the stars. If you're a stargazer now, this might trigger some type of memory about you being a earth angel or an earth guardian, a hybrid. If you're always looking up at the stars and you're just very connected to the stars and astrology, that could be a sign that you're actually from both, okay? I also got the Hierophant card, okay? This card basically is saying to me, you were a big mystery to everybody. When you were down here on earth in the earth planes, everyone thought you were this huge mystery because you were very quiet. And you were just a mystery to everyone you were around. And it was because you were quiet, you know? So that left people to wondering more about you. Who are you? Where did you come from? You know, and if you're a very mysterious, quiet person now, that's a key that you were probably a earth angel, guardian angel. You travel between both realms in one particular lifetime, okay? You were also a peacekeeper, not because you came and broke up arguments, but because as soon as you entered the room, okay, your aura and your vibration that you gave off just drove peace through the room. So there was no fighting or arguing whenever you were around. Now, if you're the type of person and you walk into a room right now and people are always calm around you, that is another key that you were a earth angel, a guardian angel of the earth and of the heavens, okay? People loved coming to your apartment or your house if you allowed them because it was such a sacred place. And a lot of people who are earth guardians or earth angels really don't allow people to come into their sacred space. But if you were someone that they trusted a lot, they would allow you, or you would allow them into your sacred space, and they just loved it, okay, because of the energy that it gave off. You also counseled people. That was one of your reasonings for wanting to be here on earth. You love to counsel your loved ones and other people around you. Okay? And you were also sent to Earth so that people could remember who they really were. That was one of your goals. That was one of your main things in life, is to enlighten people about who they really were. Okay? This card is saying, remember who you are. And I feel like here's another trigger, okay, to let you know you may have been a guardian angel in your past life. If you picked this deck, then yes, you were. But here's another trigger. If you were an indigo or crystal child, okay, that is letting me know that you are a hybrid. You are from the stars. You're also human, but you have some angel DNA or some other type of entity DNA from the stars. Your soul is not human, okay? Your soul is not human. And that's what makes you a starseed, a crystal child, or an indigo. This is a trigger. Were you very quiet and awkward as a child? Were you always zoned out, very withdrawn because your head was always in the clouds? That is a good indication that you are what's called, or in your past life, you were an earth guardian. You are a hybrid. You have angel and human DNA, or some type of other entity from the stars and the skies and human DNA. This is what we call hybrids, okay? And most of us hybrids were either indigo or crystal children, very misunderstood because you were quiet. Once again, you were mysterious to others. And sometimes people didn't know how to read you. They might have saw that as having a learning disability because you were so quiet and withdrawn. And in reality, you did not have a learning disability. People just don't know how to perceive really quiet people that kind of live within their own worlds, okay? That was deck 1. Deck 2. Deck 2, we are laying the cards out here. I'm kind of losing my voice. It's okay, we're gonna get through it. Deck 2, okay, deck 2. Deck 2, the first card I got for you is Animal Guardian. Animal Guardian, okay? You were very connected to the animals. They talk to you, you talk to them, you could hear them, they could hear you. So very, very much connected to the animals that you were kind of a guardian over them. And they loved you and you loved them. And you were so pretty much connected to the animals that you really didn't have any need for any real contact with a human being. I know that sounds nuts, but that's because you were so connected to the animals, okay? If you have a serious love and connection to animals right now, that is a trigger that in your past life, you were an animal guardian, okay? You had this inner wisdom when it came to animals, and people all over came to you for advice or to talk to their animals. I'm also picking up people came to you to find loved ones, and you did this through becoming a seer. You could shift your consciousness, not your body, but your consciousness into an animal that's called a seer. And you would see through the animal's eyes. Sometimes you would send your wolf out to help people find these missing children. You were so connected to animals that you could get into their conscious mind and just look through their eyes and see anything that they saw. If you were looking for missing children, if you were hunting, because I feel like maybe you worked with the law at one point as well. And this was during a time, this was way back, I want to say 1700s, okay? And people would come to you to find their missing children, find bad guys, and you would shift your consciousness into an animal of your choice, preferably an eagle. I'm picking up if you needed to, if you could not find who you were looking for on land, you would shift into an eagle, your consciousness into the eagle, and the eagle would fly, and you would see whatever thing the eagle was seeing because you are a seer, okay? I also feel you were very sensitive, and you have to be a highly sensitive human being to tap into the souls and the consciousness of animals, okay? You were a person who loved to spend time outdoors because this connected you more to the animals, okay? Being outside, you were connected to the birds. You were connected to the squirrels, whatever bears, whatever animals were around you. You loved being outdoors. That's another trigger, guys, loving to be outside, okay? You were a very compassionate person, and because of that, people looked up to you because you were very compassionate and caring. They came to you because they knew you would find their loved ones, or they knew you would find these bad guys that they were looking for. You know, you would help with that as well because you were very compassionate and caring. You liked being around bodies of water, waterfalls, lakes, because once again, this meant more animals that you could connect with, more animals you could shift your consciousness into, fish, anything like that, to look into the waters, to find different things, okay? I also feel like you were very connected to the moon, and you still are, because the different moon cycles really heightened your consciousness when you were able to shift into animals. Last, we have the Strength card. You were a very courageous person, and you were wild and free, kind of like the animals, kind of like the spirit fox. You ran freely. You knew freedom because you ran with the animals. You really, really did not have time for people. Okay? So I feel like you were a seer and an animal guardian in your past life. You shift your consciousness into animals to find missing children and bad guys. And this is what you did for a living. Okay? Deck 3. Deck 3. Okay. Deck 3. Deck 3, you were a white witch in your past life, okay? And a white witch is a witch who is a good witch, someone who just emits all their powers through love and light. You followed water, you followed air, you followed fire, and you followed earth. You respected the 4 elements here on earth, okay? The 4 elements. And that's how you used and worked your powers, by using fire, water, air, earth, okay? You were a great, like I said, magician, magic. People came to you to overcome difficulties, okay? They came to you during times where their lives were falling apart, and you would fix things for them, okay? By using your white magic. You brought them out of their darkness. This is the Tower card, meaning they were going through a lot of shakiness, a lot of bad things was happening, and they would come to you, White Witch, for you to bring them out of this darkness by using your white light and your white magic. They also came to you for fertility if they were having issues having a baby. You were a great sorcerer, okay? And this card says you are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality, and that's what you did, okay? If you are very connected to the 4 elements of the earth, the water, fire, okay? Air, and earth. If you are still connected to those four things, that is a trigger that you were a white witch in your past life. And if you pick this deck, then that is what you were. Okay? That was deck 3. Now for deck 4. Okay, we're going to deck 4. Deck 4, okay. Deck 4, okay. First of all, the first card I got for you, deck 4, is the Elder card. You were an elder in your community, meaning you were looked up to. Everyone in the community looked up to you because you were very wise. You had a lot of wisdom, and that goes into this next card, Wise One. And this is why people came to you all the time, because you had this just mind full of knowledge, and people wanted to know more. They came to you for help because you were very, very wise. And you were also a medicine mother, meaning you were very good with herbs. If people were sick, you were a healer, okay? If people were sick, they would come to you and you would whip them up herbs and you would cure them, you would heal them. You were the medicine woman or the medicine man, okay? Now I got the High Priest card because you were a high priest or a high priestess during this time, because you were kind of anointed a high priest. You didn't come with this title. You had to work your way at getting that title. And after people saw how much of a healer you were, how you healed people, how you had so much wisdom, they appointed you as the high priestess. And you got that title because of your wisdom and your healing power, okay? You had a lot of courage. People looked up to you because of that courage. You backed down from no one. You had courage, and no one could make you back down or tell you what you were doing was wrong. You stood your ground. Lots of courage. And once again, Magic Guardian, you also practiced or dealt with a little magic, and I believe that was herbal magic. When you got into your magic, you used herbs. You used the old ways of hoodoo, okay? And you used herbs. People came to for you herbs as well for healing the body as well, but to also do magic to help them with their lives as well, okay? You were also a great oracle. People came to you when they wanted to know information, when they wanted to receive information from the ethers or the spiritual realms, okay? You were very connected to oracle cards. I see that maybe you did tarot in a past life. If you're doing tarot to this day or you're interested in tarot, just know that you did it in a past life. You were a high priestess or a high priest who was an oracle, and you dealt with oracle and tarot cards. You told people's fortunes and futures, and they paid you for this, for healing and other things that you did, okay? People also trusted you. They trusted you. They could trust you. They knew that whatever herbal supplement you were giving them would heal their body. They knew whatever herbal spells that you did would manifest things into their lives that they needed, okay? You were well trusted. I also feel like you're another person who goes by moon cycles. You are very connected to the moon, and that's because you're very spiritual, okay? So if you picked deck 3, you were an elder, a wise one, a medicine mother. You were a high priestess. You were appointed as a high priestess once people saw how magical you were, how you could make things happen, how you healed people, how you guided people with your wisdom, okay? Now we have deck 4. No, we have deck 5. That was deck 4. This is deck 5. We're moving along. Okay. Deck 5. That last deck was 4, guys. Not sure if I told you that last deck was 4. Deck 4. I think I called it 3. The last deck I just did was 4, just to clarify. Okay, I'm seeing a very honorable person here because we have the Lord card. We also have the Knight card. You are very brave. You were a high, very, very high Lord because of your bravery and your honesty. I do not feel like you were a highborn, but you became a highborn because of your bravery. You were someone to be reckoned with out on that battlefield. You did not play. And because of that, you were appointed to a Lord, okay? And then from being appointed to a Lord, I felt like you married a queen, okay? You were actually appointed to marry a queen, which made you a king, okay? So I felt like this was something that you actually fought for because the nobles, the kings and queens of during this time, they really, really admired you because you were strong, you had strength, you knew how to fight on the battlefield, and then they upped you as a lord. And because you became a lord, you were able to marry a queen, which made you a king, okay? I also feel like you were a great protector. That's another reason you were appointed Lord and then became king. You protected everyone in your land and in your village, okay? And people looked up to you because of that. I also feel like you were connected to the spiritual realms as well. You were also a great shaman, and that's another reason you had to, like, I feel like the kings and the queens of whatever era this was, this time frame, they really honored you and admired you because of your bravery, your wisdom. I mean, they were just so admired you. They were so amored by you that they had to get you into their family some way. And that was by allowing you to marry a queen, okay? Now, another way to trigger, one of your triggers, if you were a person, male or female, and you love the color purple, kind of look at this queen here. The color purple has always represented royalty. That's one of the reasons Prince wore a lot of purple. Okay, the color represents royalty. Back in those days, the color purple was not easy to create, so only royalty wore it. If you have a fascination with purple, you're like a purple freak, you love everything in purple, that is an indication that you were most likely royalty in a past life, okay? Also, a connection with bees. This is also, or honey. If you absolutely love honey, like you can't go a day without honey, you love it, love it, love it. This is also a sign of royalty because bees are connected to royalty, okay? Once again, you were a great warrior. We see that in the Knight card, warrior. You were a warrior, but you were also gentle, and people really, really admired that about you, your gentleness. Okay? Everyone in the land loved you. Everyone. There was not one person, well, as we all know, we all kind of have haters, but for the majority, everyone loved you. Okay? When you ruled with fairness, and people knew that you would always be fair and you would rule by what you thought was right, what was best for the land, okay? And that was deck 4. So if you picked deck 4, you were a king in your past life. Now, let me tell you something about past lives, okay? In our past lives, we were male, we were female, okay? And you weren't always female in a past life, and you weren't always male in a past life, okay? So if you pick that deck, I'm very strong feeling that that is a male, okay? There's a lot of testosterone in that deck, okay? So if you're a female and you pick that card, you were a king in your past life, okay? You were a male. And if you're a man, then you were a man in your past life and you were a king, okay? Deck 5. Okay, deck 5. There's a lot of sexual energy in this deck, okay? You were a highly sexual charged goddess, okay? Very highly sexual charged, okay? There's another Ishtar card, very your sexuality was through the roof, okay? You were very independent. Once again, you were a goddess. You sat on a throne. You were also, you were beyond royalty. You were on goddess level, okay? I feel like you owned your land, your empire. You were not married. I do not see marriage in this hand because of all the passion that you had. You had a lot of passion. So you had a lot of concubines. You had a lot of male concubines because you just had so much passion and you were so sexual, okay? Which is not a bad thing. A lot of women who sit on the highest thrones are successful women, are very sexual. They may not show you that side of you. They may show that side to their loved ones or whoever they're with sexually, but they're not going to show that to you, okay? Very independent, successful women, okay? And I feel like you had unconditional love for everyone, okay? And the Mary Magdalene card is sacred. You were a sacred, I'm not going to say you were a sacred whore. You were a sacred goddess who loved sex, okay? And you had, this is the High Priestess card, High Priest. You had lots of male courters coming from other lands who wanted to marry you. They were kings, they were other gods and on higher levels, and they wanted to marry you, and you were just like, no, I'm not getting married. I'm having fun right now. This is the Fool card. I see that a lot of these men were a fool for you. They gave you everything you wanted, everything your heart desires. You were a goddess. You were spoiled. And a lot of these men were a fool for you, okay? We already know you were an empress. You sat upon your throne. You were beyond an empress. You were a goddess, okay? You were loved by many and you loved many. And that was your thing. I feel like you were polyamorous. You could never, and that was your main reason for not getting married. I feel like your loved ones wanted you to get married and you were just like, no, I love so many. You know, I feel like you were a polyamorous, sexually charged goddess, okay? And in your land and in your world, you were a star. You were the star, you know. Everyone loved you. You had many courters, lots and lots of money. They spoiled you. They gave you everything you could possibly want and more. Not that you didn't already have it because you were a goddess. You know what I mean? So that was choice 5. You were a sexually charged, powerful goddess / empress. Okay? All right. We're down to deck 7. Down to deck 7. That deck was deck 6. I think I'm getting mixed up. That last deck was deck 6. If you chose deck 6, now we're on to deck 7. Okay, deck 7. Deck 7. Okay, deck 7. We have Great Teacher. Okay, I feel like you were a very, very spiritual person. Very spiritual. And because you were highly spiritual and you understood spirituality and you understood sacred geometry and other different symbols, that you were a teacher. You taught spirituality in your realm, in your land that you lived in. And you were a great speaker. People would come from all over just to hear you speak because you were a great spiritual teacher. Okay? You studied a lot. That was your thing, studying a lot, getting deep into the subconscious mind, going deep into sacred geometry and other occult studies. That was your thing. Okay? And I'm seeing an emperor here. Not that you were an emperor, but a great emperor. You gained his attention from you speaking all over the land, okay? And he heard about you and your great events and the way you spoke. And, you know, someone said to him, hey, you got to come hear this woman. She's such a great spiritual teacher. And I do feel like you were a female. And a great emperor came to you and he actually moved you into his castle. He had to have you near him at all times, okay? You were also an energy healer and he loved that about you. He picked that up about you, that you could heal his energy when he became low. And he was a very powerful man. You knew all his secrets, okay? And he knew that he could trust you, okay? You had a very, very close connection to crystals and their meaning. And when the emperor needed some type of healing, you would heal him with crystals. You would use crystals to heal him. And he absolutely loved that. That's why he moved you into his castle, okay? You were a great leader. And because of that, other people would come to you as well. Other highborns would come to you, okay? Because of your great leadership and your great role of spirituality. And this was another thing you taught the emperor. Well, you didn't teach it to him because he never really quite got it. But because you were so spiritual, you were able to pick up on his cycles, his highs and his lows. You would tell him when to strike, when that iron was hot. And when you said those things to him, he would go and do what he needed to do to rule the land. And he was very, very powerful because of your spiritual teaching, okay? And when you entered a room, you always entered a room with love and light, and people respected that. People respected that. And this card says, your purpose is to bring divine healing and love and light into the world. And you did in a past life. You were a very renowned spiritual healer. You were famous. You became famous once you were spotted by the great emperor who loved your teachings, who, you know, someone tapped him on the shoulder one day and said, hey, you gotta come listen to her speak. She's such a great speaker and she knows so much about sacred geometry and other occult measures of the world. And because of that, he moved you into his castle. And you lived the rest of your life around highborns. And you, because you had the close connection with the emperor, you were looked at as a highborn eventually. And you lived, you know, your life very abundantly in the land that you were in during that time, during that realm. Okay, that was deck 7. Now we're down to deck 8. Who were you in a past life? Who were you in a past life? Okay, so the first card we get is the Hunter card. The Hunter card. You used to hunt animals, and not just animals, you also hunted other things for people. You were also a master builder. Along with your hunting skills, you were a great builder. I feel like you built houses. You built not only houses, you built temples. You were like an architect. You had this great sight, okay? And once you hunted and gathered, because I feel like you were a hunter and a gatherer, whether that was berries, nuts, you also gathered. You would take them to the market and you would trade them, okay? And you became popular because of the things you knew how to gather and hunt. You also planted flowers, not only flowers, but other herbs and things. You were a great gardener. People would see your things at the market and they were just amazed at what you had grew, the herbs you had grew, the food, the flowers, and you would sell these things, and that's how you became abundant with money. You know, that prosperity card right there. People loved what you grew. You weren't just abundant with money, you were abundant with land. I see that you had lots of land, or you acquired lots of land because of your skills of knowing how to plant herbs, and maybe you gathered flowers and you sold them, and you also planted them as well. You had a lot of patience, because it takes patience to do those type of things, to be a gardener, to be a hunter and a gatherer, to be a great builder. Like I said, you also built temples because you were like an architect. You had this gift of sight, okay? And I see later in your career, you became a teacher. You started teaching people how to build, how to plant gardens, how to grow flowers. You later on in your later life, you became a great teacher of all your trades. You taught people how to hunt, how to gather, how to survive during months, you know, where they weren't so abundant and it was winter time, okay? I feel cold. You were in a cold realm here, wherever this was, okay? We have the Page of Cups, which indicates to me you are a jack of all trades, okay? You are a jack of all trades. You did so much of building and growing and gardening and trading at the market, okay? You also had great leadership. Like I said, later on in your career, you started to teach, which made you a great leader in your land, okay? And like I said, I feel cold when I read this. So this was somewhere where it became cold. It wasn't always warm, so you had to hunt animals during times to eat, okay? But you were a very abundant person because of all your skills that you have. You were a jack of many, many trades. And this kept you abundant, okay? Kept you abundant with money, land, whatever you wanted in your life. Woo! Well, I hope you guys liked this pick a card. I did this just for you guys. Like I said, I did a past life regression on myself. And I know that I was royalty in several past lives. That's why I'm so connected to dragons. I picked up on this stuff a long time ago because I'm very connected spiritually. So I was able to pick up on these things. A lot of you just tapping into spirituality may not have these powers yet. You will get them. Keep practicing, keep studying, keep learning. You're going to pick up on all of this. Try a past life regression before you go to bed at night. Ask yourself, who was I in my past life? And like I said, when I did this, I was hit with so much information. My mind was going when I woke up. And I could not focus because I was still receiving information. I just didn't receive one past life. It was many past lives. And I was royalty in several past lives. I was. And I'm trying to get back on my throne. So I hope you guys love this pick a card. If you would like a private reading, if you would like a past life reading or any other kind of reading, the link will be down below. Once again, thank you so much for being here with me during this special pick a card. It was very long because there was so much information. And it was a lot of information that I wanted you guys to gather about yourselves. And thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you guys next time. Goodbye.